Any,
Yeah.
there is a bit of an antipathy often between First Nations people and the white man, and rightly so. His history has shown us all kinds of reasons for bitterness. But is this not a part of the process here, this business of forgiving, that you turn away from that and embrace, it's like old things passing away, all things becoming new, right? Is that the point of this event?
Well, it's becoming broader than what we thought was just a response to the apology and releasing forgiveness to the Prime Minister. It's getting very big and very broad. In fact, I would challenge my people to say, you know, imagine for a moment when there was no white man in this nation. There was no government in this nation. There was no churches in this nation. Who would you blame for the offense? You know, how would you deal with those things? And I think this is part of our healing that we so much need. And I don't think it's going to come through all the finances in the world that the government may have or may think that they should have for us. I think it's coming back to a very ancient spiritual issue, and that our people being placed here in our nation have to realize that they have to take ownership of all that they face, and that there's no one to blame. They have to look inwards. And this is going to be the greatest expression of healing they'll ever have.
Well, isn't it true, David, from the Scripture that perhaps the one who benefits the most from forgiveness is the one who grants it?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, because I mean, isn't it the case that we can carry hurt for our entire lives, whereas forgiveness releases us from that hurt?
Yeah. I mean, they're honoring Rosa Parks now, you know, the hero in the U.S. that refused to move out of the seat in the front of the bus. And, you know, your theme is Catch the Dream. Martin Luther King basically enunciated the very same sentiment about the dream. And now, you know, there's a man of color in the White House. Yeah. And it's a thrilling thing to see how God, but in the United States, by the way, we're carried on the DirecTV satellite channel, NRB channel, and the U.S. has not done what Kenny's leading us in doing up here, and I would like to recommend that somebody pick it up in the United States in terms of the First Nations people, the people that God originally put on this land, and they have a claim to the whole of the land more than any of the rest of us, literally, regardless of the treaties and so on, although it would be great if people kept their word. But, you know, I think that we have a responsibility to model the forgiveness that Christ offered even on the cross when he said, Father, forgive them. They really don't know what they're doing.
Now, you've been crossing the country with a group of people, including some young people that we'll be talking to in a moment. Tell us about that.
Well, the journey of freedom is to go across the nation. This is our 16th stop in Six Nations tonight. Right. And we'll be able to, you know, meet with the Six Nation community and the chiefs. There's some chiefs, and a member of parliament is coming out, local people. And it's to share the vision, the dream of what God has for our people. Not just First Nations, Inuit, Métis, although, you know, that's our ultimate desire, is to see our people released and healed, you know, free from all the issues that they face in the spirit, because we need to believe that the Lord will do all that. So as we go into each community, we are praying and just talking about what is offense, what is forgiveness.
Now, Jim, the fact that we're not live here. This is being pre-taped because of having Kenny available, and for our U.S. viewers, the Six Nations Reserve is the home reserve of Tonto. You know, the Lone Ranger in Tonto. That's his reserve. So our U.S. viewers. But so this is actually, by the time this is on the air, you will have been at quite a few more communities now.
Very much so.
But yes, that's the crux of the matter, to rally around it and support it, and not just. I mean, primarily it's the First Nations people that, you know, are the ones that are granting you know, in a formal way with proper protocol and so on. You expect Prime Minister Harper to be there at the event and to offer back, yes, we do forgive. And so that is that. But for the rest of us too to come along as supporters, and Kenny and his team could even use some of our financial help.
Let me put the page up here on the screen here, just so you got the coordinates, friends. It's called the National Summit of the First Peoples of Canada, Forgiven, Catch the Dream, June 11th to the 13th in Ottawa, Ontario, at the Civic Centre, right, Kenny?
At the Civic Centre.
There's a website there, www.iforgive.ca. It'd be terrific to have as many of you as possible at this event, and you're going to be meeting shortly some precious and wonderful young people who are traveling with you right now and are going to be part of that. Thanks for coming our way, Kenny, and thank you for this initiative.
Well, you know, we're just listening to what the Lord is saying, and we're, you know, learning to walk before the Lord.
Well, it's great, it's instructive, it's catalytic. Thanks, David. And we'll be back with some wonderful young First Nations people who are catching the dream after this.
My mom was brought to the residential school when she was 8 years old.
Because of residential school, my childhood was stolen. My family was broken apart.
Like a lot of the residential school gave me a lot of anger.
The RCMP would show up and just take the children where they were not allowed to speak their language. They were given a number, and if you were caught with something that didn't have your number, you were severely punished.
There's some family members that I'll never see ended up dying in residential school. People I would have loved to have met.
This journey of freedom is a vision and a heart of our people to go across Canada and prepare the hearts of all peoples to come together in Ottawa in June 11, 12, and 13 for the purpose of releasing forgiveness.
We forgive and take that posture so that our people will be led to freedom.
I'm a survivor of the residential school. I forgive you, Stephen Harper. I thank you for humbling yourself to ask the First Nation to forgive.
We want to respond to the Prime Minister and for his request for forgiveness.
I think there is a dynamic at work that goes way beyond where government can go. It's a spiritual dynamic, and it involves that powerful, powerful force called forgiveness.
Today is a day that we forgive. We'll never forget. And forgiveness is not saying that it's right what happened, but it's time for us, our people, to be free.